When a person begins trading, they often believe they are entering a world of numbers, charts, and strategies. They think success lies in mastering indicators, analyzing trends, or reading patterns. But soon, they discover something far more powerful. The real challenge is not the market, it is their own mind. Every decision, every click, every hesitation reveals an internal struggle between logic and emotion, patience and impulse. The battlefield is invisible. It is not on the screen but within the trader. When the market begins to rise, excitement rushes in, whispering, "You're missing out." When it falls, fear tightens its grip, saying, "You're losing everything." In both moments, the trader is not responding to the market. They are reacting to their emotions. Those who fail to recognize this end up fighting shadows that exist only within themselves. In trading, numbers are neutral. It is the mind that gives them meaning. Profit becomes joy, loss becomes pain. But the market does not intend to please or punish anyone. It simply moves according to its own rhythm. A successful trader learns to see through the illusion of control, realizing that mastery does not come from predicting the market but from understanding their own reactions to it. The mind of an untrained trader swings wildly between hope and fear, constantly chasing comfort and avoiding discomfort. This endless pendulum drains focus and energy. True strength lies in steadiness, the ability to stay centered whether the screen glows green or bleeds red. Once the mind becomes still, clarity emerges, and decisions no longer come from panic or greed but from awareness. Just as a warrior prepares before battle, a trader must prepare before trading, not by memorizing strategies alone but by cultivating emotional discipline. A warrior who loses focus in battle perishes. A trader who loses control of the mind destroys their capital. The preparation, therefore, is not just technical but psychological, learning to recognize one's own impulses before they command action. The greatest traders do not see the market as an enemy to conquer. They see it as a teacher that exposes their weaknesses. Each loss reveals impatience, each gain tests humility. Every trade becomes a mirror that reflects the trader's true state of being. To fight in this battlefield and survive, one must not fight the market, one must master the self. It is easy to blame the market for one's failures, but the wise trader knows the enemy is internal. It is fear disguised as caution, greed disguised as ambition, and ego disguised as confidence. These hidden forces can destroy even the most perfect plan. Recognizing them is the first step toward inner control, and inner control is the foundation of all external success. When trading becomes a test of the mind rather than a chase for money, everything changes. The charts become calm, the numbers lose their emotional weight, and the trader begins to see clearly. In that clarity lies power, not the power to control the market, but the power to remain unshaken no matter how the market moves. The market is a living force, unpredictable, untamable, and free from every individual's control. It rises and falls not because you hope it will, but because it simply must. Like the tides of the ocean or the blowing of the wind, it moves according to its own nature. The problem begins when the trader tries to bend that nature to match personal expectations. In that struggle, frustration is born and clarity is lost. When you attach your emotions to the market's movements, you create unnecessary suffering. You feel victorious when it goes your way and defeated when it does not. But the truth is, the market does not care for your joy or sorrow. It does not know your entry point, your stop loss, or your dreams. It simply exists as it is. To fight against that is to fight against reality itself. And no one has ever won that battle. A trader who expects the market to move in their favor is like a sailor who expects the wind to blow in a fixed direction. The wise sailor does not command the wind. He adjusts his sails. In the same way, the wise trader does not demand outcomes. He adapts to what unfolds. Acceptance does not mean passivity. It means responding intelligently to what is, instead of reacting emotionally to what is not. The market has no morality, no emotion, no personal intent. It rewards and punishes everyone with equal indifference. When you realize this, you stop taking every loss personally. You stop seeing a bad trade as an insult and start seeing it as a lesson. The moment you drop the need to control, you begin to understand the deeper rhythm beneath the chaos. There is a silent intelligence behind every market movement. not human, not emotional, but natural. It's the collective flow of countless minds, fears, hopes, and expectations merging into one vast current. You cannot resist it, you can only learn to ride it. Those who resist get drowned. Those who flow with awareness, they move gracefully through the waves. Every trader, at some point, learns humility from the market. When you think you've mastered it, it humbles you. When you think you've lost everything, it surprises you. The market doesn't obey confidence, it respects patience. It doesn't answer emotion, it reveals truth. And truth often arrives in silence after the noise of greed and fear has passed. The more you cling to the desire for certainty, the more pain you invite. The market thrives on uncertainty, that is its essence. Trying to control it is like trying to hold water in your fist. The tighter you grip, the more it escapes. Only when your hand relaxes, only when your mind relaxes, can you truly sense its flow and move in harmony with it. The moment you stop demanding that the market should behave a certain way, you free yourself. You stop trading against its nature and start trading with awareness. In that space, profit is not your pursuit, balance is. And when balance comes, profit follows naturally, like a shadow that does not need to be chased. Every trader begins the journey believing that success depends on finding the perfect strategy, a secret formula that never fails. But as experience deepens, one realizes that no strategy can protect you from yourself. It is not the chart pattern that destroys traders, it is fear, greed, and the inability to stay centered when uncertainty unfolds. A strategy may guide your hands, but your emotions decide your fate. The market is not cruel, it is simply honest. It reveals without hesitation the emotional state of the one who trades. The impatient trader rushes, the fearful one hesitates, and the greedy one overextends. Each emotion writes its own story of loss. Until you master the emotions that control you, no technical analysis, no trading course, and no signal service can save you from chaos. Emotional mastery is not about suppressing feelings. It is about observing them without being enslaved by them. Fear will arise, greed will tempt, doubt will whisper. But awareness gives you space to choose your response. Without awareness, the trader reacts impulsively. With awareness, the trader acts consciously. This single shift separates the gambler from the master. When a trade moves against you, fear surges through your veins. The heart races, the mind begins to calculate losses that haven't yet occurred. If you let that emotion take charge, you exit too soon and regret follows. The same happens with greed. When the market rises, you believe it will rise forever and you hold longer than you should. Both emotions are illusions and both lead to the same place, imbalance. True traders train not just their minds but their emotions. They meditate on patience. They practice discipline even when excitement calls them to act. They learn to wait without frustration, to lose without anger, and to win without arrogance. In this way, trading becomes a spiritual discipline, a test of inner strength rather than a chase for money. Every trade becomes an opportunity to observe yourself, your impulses, your reactions, your restlessness. When you start seeing your emotions as teachers, they lose their power over you. Fear teaches awareness, greed teaches detachment, excitement teaches calmness. The market merely provides the mirror. Your emotions reveal who you truly are in that reflection. The most advanced traders are not those with the most complex systems, but those with the most stable minds. They do not panic when others do, and they do not celebrate when others cheer. Their stability is their edge. They have mastered themselves so deeply that no external event can shake their internal balance. That steadiness turns every decision into clarity, every loss into wisdom. When the mind becomes silent and emotions obey your awareness, the market's chaos begins to look beautiful. It no longer feels threatening, it feels alive, dynamic, and full of lessons. At that point, trading is not about profit or loss anymore. It becomes an art. The art of maintaining peace while walking through uncertainty. Most people look at the market, but very few truly see it. Their eyes are open, yet what they perceive is colored by expectation, fear, and desire. Observation without judgment means to see things as they are, not as you wish them to be. The trader who can observe the market in this way stands at a higher plane of awareness. They see movement, pattern, and rhythm without attaching emotion or meaning to it. When you watch the market with judgment, you divide it. You label one movement as good and another as bad. You celebrate when it moves in your favor and curse it when it does not. In doing so, you lose your balance. You are no longer seeing the truth. You are seeing your bias reflected back at you. The market is not your friend or your enemy. It is simply a flow of collective human emotion expressed through numbers. Pure observation is like still water. It reflects reality perfectly. Judgment, on the other hand, is like a storm that distorts the reflection. When your mind is filled with thoughts of profit and loss, you cannot see the market clearly. But when the mind is silent, the market reveals its rhythm naturally. In that silence, clarity dawns and decisions arise without confusion. A trader's downfall often begins not with a bad trade, but with a clouded mind. When you are angry after a loss or euphoric after a gain, your next decision is rarely wise. But if you can simply watch those emotions without identifying with them, their grip weakens. You become the witness, calm, alert, and aware. From that space, your actions are no longer reactions. They are responses born of understanding. Observation without judgment is not inaction. It is intelligent stillness. It is the space between thought and action where wisdom resides. When you observe a chart, an entry point, or a trend without bias, your decisions emerge naturally, effortlessly. You no longer trade out of excitement or fear, you trade out of clarity. And clarity is the most powerful weapon in any uncertain environment. In trading, as in life, judgment narrows your vision, observation expands it. When you label something as right or wrong, you stop exploring. But when you simply observe, possibilities unfold. You begin to notice the subtleties, the quiet shifts in volume, the slow change in sentiment, the hidden patterns that emotion-blinded eyes cannot see. Awareness sharpens and intuition awakens. When you become an observer, you start to sense that the market is not random. It has a pulse, a rhythm, a breath of its own. But this can only be felt, not calculated. Judgment blocks this connection, observation opens it. The trader who watches with silence can often sense a turning point before it appears on any chart, not through prediction, but through presence. So to see clearly, you must first stop trying to control what you see. The moment you drop the filters of expectation and fear, the truth appears. Observation without judgment is not a technique, it is a state of being. It transforms confusion into clarity, chaos into order, and trading into a form of meditation where every decision flows effortlessly from awareness. Every trader believes they are watching the market, yet few realize the market is also watching them. It reflects not your skills, but your state of mind. When you are calm, your trades align with clarity. When you are restless, your actions become chaotic. The market has no emotions of its own. It simply mirrors back the emotions you bring into it. The clearer your inner world, the clearer the outer market appears. When fear dominates your mind, you begin to see threats in every candle, in every fluctuation. The same chart that looked promising yesterday now feels dangerous today. Nothing has changed in the data, only your emotions have shifted. And so, your perception distorts reality. The market becomes a mirror showing you how unstable your emotions truly are, how easily your peace depends on the color of a candlestick. Likewise, when greed enters, the mirror reflects that too. You start seeing endless opportunities where none exist. You believe the next trade will make you rich. The next rally will never end. In that moment, you are no longer seeing the market. You are seeing your desire projected onto it. The mirror is clear, it only shows what stands before it. But if what stands before it is blinded by craving, the reflection too becomes blurred. The wise trader understands that the market cannot lie. Every loss, every hesitation, every impulsive entry is a revelation of what lies within. It shows your impatience, your ego, your attachment to outcomes. Instead of blaming the market, the wise one uses it as a tool for self-awareness. Every mistake becomes a message, every emotional reaction an invitation to look inward and grow. When the market rises and you feel joy, when it falls and you feel despair, that is the mirror speaking. It tells you that your peace is conditional, tied to outcomes beyond your control. But the one who has cultivated stillness remains the same through both. For such a trader, the market reflects only clarity, not emotion. Gains or losses no longer alter their state, they simply observe, learn, and move on. The market is, in truth, one of the most honest teachers. It never flatters, never lies, and never spares you from your own reflection. If you are overconfident, it will humble you. If you are fearful, it will expose your hesitation. If you are disciplined, it will reward your balance. The market gives you exactly what you bring to it, no more, no less. In this way, it becomes a perfect mirror for personal evolution. Many enter trading searching for wealth, but the deeper reward lies in what it reveals about the self. Each emotional reaction is a signpost pointing toward something unresolved within. Impatience, insecurity, or attachment. The trader who listens to these signs begins to transform. They stop fighting the market and start refining their inner world. Slowly, the mirror begins to shine clearer, reflecting strength instead of struggle. When your mind becomes still, the mirror changes its reflection. The same market that once seemed unpredictable now feels harmonious. The noise quiets, the chaos softens, and you begin to move with grace through every fluctuation. The market has not changed. You have, and in this shift, you realize that trading was never about predicting the external world, but mastering the inner one. In the end, trading is not a war against the market, it is a journey within. Every chart, every candle, every moment of uncertainty is a doorway to self-awareness. If you look closely, you'll see that the real fluctuations are not in the market, but in your own mind. The market simply reveals them with brutal honesty. When you begin to see trading not as a means to make money, but as a practice to master yourself, everything changes. Profit and loss lose their emotional grip, and peace becomes your true wealth. You start to act, not react. You learn to wait without anxiety, to lose without anger, and to win without pride. The market will continue to move up and down, fast and slow, but your balance can remain unshaken. Like a calm lake beneath a stormy sky, your awareness remains steady, reflecting only truth. In that stillness, every decision flows naturally, and every outcome becomes a lesson rather than a judgment. So do not seek to conquer the market, seek to understand yourself through it. For the one who has mastered his inner world, even the wildest market becomes a place of peace. The charts no longer test your patience, they polish it. The losses no longer hurt your ego, they humble it. And the gains no longer intoxicate you, they simply affirm your discipline. When your actions come from clarity instead of emotion, you discover a profound truth. Trading is not separate from meditation. It is a meditation in motion, a reflection of life itself. And the greatest profit one can ever earn in this market is the mastery of one's own mind.